It's time to duel. Rah. Hey guys, it's Crazy Comic Lady. Welcome back to another Old Arts video. And the year is 2003, and we're about to enter the Shadow Realm. So 2003, I was like really obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh in this year, so I have many a Yu-Gi-Oh sketchbook. So this one, I've got all the main characters on the front cover, and then I went over them in sticky back plastic. So yeah, this I believe was a copy from a game manual, from a Game Boy Advance game of Yu-Gi-Oh that I had. And I like to make cover pages for all my sketchbooks back in like 2003 and 4, with a list of like contents and stuff for each of the pages. I don't know why, I just liked having something there. So yeah, I mentioned like in a previous video ages ago that I was pretty badly bullied as a kid, so it became a routine of I would get home from school, and Yu-Gi-Oh was just airing season 2 in the UK in 2003. So season 2 had just started, and they were rerunning season 1 at the same time. So I picked it up more or less right from the beginning, and I got like obsessed with it. And yeah, so I'd come home from school after like terrible day at school, and I was recording them all off TV on videotapes. So I'd after I'd had my dinner and everything, I'd retreat to my room and I'd shove in an episode of Yu-Gi-Oh, and then I'd just sit and I'd copy a Yu-Gi-Oh picture in my sketchbook, and that became my evening routine for all of 2003 and 4. Was I would just spend time watching and drawing Yu-Gi-Oh. And yeah, you might be able to tell that they're all copies of stuff. This was a really bad habit that I developed in 2003 and 4, which is why I'm not taking much time to actually bother describing the pictures and what you can see, because there's nothing really to explain about them. So yeah, my school, they didn't really teach you ever to be creative and come up with your own ideas. The only thing they ever taught you to do was study other artists' work and do copies of sections of their work, and that was the only thing that I was ever taught. I wasn't taught how to draw. I wasn't taught how to make shapes of people's heads and stuff or anything. Yeah, the only thing they taught was research other artists and copy sections of their work. So it was a really, really awful thing to teach people to copy other artists' work. That one was a blown up section of this picture. So that would be, yeah. Anyway, it was a really bad habit that I developed in 2003 and 4. So I'm gonna skip through the sketchbooks relatively quickly, because yeah, none of it's original and there's not much to say. One thing I did do back then was that I did really badly was the bits that are meant to be shaded a darker colour, I drew them in with pencil. So you can see the pencil lines of the bits that are meant to be shadow. And that's something I kind of I learned from my mistakes with that one later on. I think it was 2004 or something I stopped doing that. Or it might have been later in 2003, I'm not sure. So yeah, that was my story about these sketchbooks. So there's not really a whole lot else to show. This one is interesting. This one, I cut Kyber out of the picture. There's a copy of the picture, and I cut Kyber out of it. And this bit's got sticky back plastic on it because the colour was smudging. Yeah, these were just watercolour pencils, and I think I completely knackered the watercolour pencils. Oh, I'm not sure Americans know what the word knackered means, but that's when you exhaust something or you wear something out to the point where it falls apart. I'm not sure it's a word that Americans use, so just in case you didn't know, that's what knackered means. This is, yeah, I'm not sure who did that. That doesn't look I don't remember Mokuba ever having that design of t-shirt in the cartoon, so I'm not sure what picture that's from. That's almost it. Dun, dun, dun. That one's awful. That's a really bad copy. I don't think I could do Taya very well at all. I think I really struggled with her design. and Bakura's as well. I didn't really like Bakura. I know lots of people like love Bakura, but I was never a big fan. This is like the only original thing in this book was I tried to draw an older version of Mokuba Kaiba. So yeah, I did him in like the season 1 outfit that Seto Kaiba has, except it's all red. And it's, yeah. Over here I wrote Mokuba Kaiba 4 to 6 years older. But yeah, so that's the end. And then I drew Yugioh on the back. I don't know why I sang that. That was really weird. Yeah, I'm in a strange mood today. So this sketchbook is more interesting. This is my next Yu-Gi-Oh sketchbook. Again, I'm pretty sure it's all copies of stuff, but I kind of like the front cover on it when I did it. So yeah, this is the content. This is like a better contents page. I think this was a better book in general. It had nicer paper in it, and there was 50 pages apparently. But I like the eyes at the top. But again, this is all this is mostly copies of Seto Kaiba because I was so obsessed with him. Like, I don't know why, he was such a jerk. But you can really see how I like penciled in the lines for the shadows. I didn't have many colours. I only had like 24 colours, so I just kind of scraped darker on that. Like the bits that were meant to be darker, but it doesn't really show up. But I remember like my parents were like so proud. They would look at my picture and be like, "Oh wow, it's so good!" And yeah, like I swear parents are supposed to say that to their children, whether it's good or not. It's like an unspoken rule that you always like praise the child. So yeah, I never played like the card game or anything. Oh look, there's Albus Dumbledore. Yeah, there's other stuff in this sketchbook as well. It's not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but yeah, this was a copy of the first Harry Potter book. There was a picture of Albus Dumbledore on the back of the book. I was always really sad when the original Dumbledore actor died because I don't know, I liked him more than the replacement. The replacement I didn't feel suited him. I wish they'd put like the guy who did Gandalf, I wish he'd got the role as Dumbledore. That is Tomb Raider from the 6th Tomb Raider game that had just come out. I really love Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. I know a lot of people hate it because it's so glitchy and defective, but I love the storyline in it when I was however old I was in 2003. 14, I think? I'm not sure. Can't remember. See. Yeah, her gun doesn't look very straight though. And then there's Curtis Trent again from the Tomb Raider game because I enjoyed it. A friend of mine was like playing it at the same time as me, so there is trying to do a realistic portrait of Schumacher. Yeah, I was also starting to get into Formula 1 in this year. This is supposed to be Kimi Raikkonen. Because my parents had always watched Formula 1, and that's Ralph Schumacher. But I was always pro Schumacher, like he was my star. That's supposed to be Graham Hill. It looks a bit kind of creepy. Yeah, I was always I never liked Formula 1 as a kid. Like my parents used to watch it all the time, and it was just like cars going round in a circle. It was so boring for a little kid to watch. So, but it wasn't until like I was in my teens that then I started getting into it. But now I'm really into MotoGP. I'm really into the bike racing. I find that a lot more entertaining now. So, more Yu-Gi-Oh pictures. I think my ability to copy pictures has gotten a bit better than like the first sketchbook. So we're now into October 2003. There's Joey. So, I mean, you can learn stuff from copying. I mean, you can learn like proportions of heads and stuff, but it's something I wish I'd learned much early on, that you should like experiment and develop your own style instead of like creating reproductions. But I didn't learn that until I joined like the art community on YouTube in my 20s. That's how long it took, because I never had any art friends, and I never had any like teachers that were any good. I never understood why Kaiba had green hair. It was a little bit weird. Screw the rules, I have green hair. I love the Abridged series. That's something I got into in, I think it was 2008. I was first shown the abridged series, and I was like, oh my god, I've fallen in love with Yu-Gi-Oh again, because they really take the piss out of everything, and it's hilarious. So, Yuki! Yeah, I like most of the characters in Yu-Gi-Oh! I wish they'd had better girl characters though, because I mean, Serenity was annoying, and Teo was annoying. I didn't really watch season 5 of Yu-Gi-Oh! At the time, because by the time season 5 had come out, I was at college. And yeah, so now we're into like Sonic, copying Sonic. So I actually have like a big painting of Sonic that I did a couple years later that is like on display in my house. Yeah, again, they're all copies, so it's not very exciting, but I love the Sonic Sat AM cartoon. The actress who voiced Bunny Rabbit died last year, which is really sad. So, yeah. But I kind of, because it left off on a cliffhanger, I always have had hope that maybe one day it will get brought back. But the fact that one of the voice actors has passed away means that that's now definitely gone. Also, like the dude who created it or something, he passed away years and years ago as well. So, but yeah, I remember I quite liked the fact that I kind of tried to put in the background of the house in this one, and there's supposed to be like a tree in the background. I don't think you can really see it. There you go. You can't really see it. That's supposed to be a tree in a house. Like, she's inside a house. But, yeah. Running! Oh, he's sad and crying. I think that's when his Uncle Chuck died, that scene. Or didn't die, but, like, got recaptured or something. Bunny! But I thought, like, the storyline was so much better in, like, this Sonic cartoon, like, compared to others. I was never able to get into Sonic X. I started when it first came on TV, like the first episode I thought had promise, and then I just got bored after like 10 episodes or something. Bucky O'Hare! So these were just, I think these were copies of, like inside the instruction manual for the original NES game. I'm not sure if it's even showing up, because it's all in pencil. But, yeah. Gun. Jenny. I remember really liking this picture when I did it because of all the shading and everything in it that isn't really showing up on the camera. But yeah, again, that's just a copy of the book. A picture out of the book that I had. It was like I think I had an annual. Yeah, I had a Bucky O'Hare annual, and I copied like the pictures out of it. That's Willie DeWitt. He's holding a helmet. Again, this is just copies. Go, here's his helmet. Dead-Eye Duck. I recommend you watch this series if you haven't ever watched it. If you like science fiction, cartoons and stuff, I'd recommend it, because I don't know, it's just really cute, and I love the storyline and the animation and stuff. Although there was some like errors with the animation in this cartoon, like some scenes they'd forget to colour certain things, or like the characters would change colour accidentally for a scene, and so there was a few like continuity errors. There's a copy of Ariel from probably a little book thing that I had. Eric. You know, I didn't notice for years that if you watch like the cartoon of Eric, he's got like a dimple. I think that's probably meant to like indicate the dimple there, but like he's got dimples. He's a Disney character that's got dimples, and I never noticed that for like so many years. If you watch it when he smiles and stuff, there's like the little dip things that appear in his cheeks. So that was kind of cool. I've never seen that on like any other Disney character. King Triton. He was kind of nasty. Ariel again. And Merry Christmas! So, now we're into like December 2003. So, yeah. And I put a red nose on Tails and made him a reindeer. And Princess Sally is dressed up as the fairy. And Jenny has a little present and a scarf. And Sonic's got like little holly on his gloves there. You can see the holly. Actually, so does Kaiba. Kaiba has holly on his Santa hat. Yeah. Oh, there's a picture of Tails at the very end. I would have thought like that would have made a better end page. But whatever. Again, copies of stuff. Oh, and that's all the stuff that was featured in the book. So there was Yu-Gi-Oh stuff and Bucky O'Hare stuff and Little Mermaid stuff. And Tomb Raider. That one looks like more my own style. It doesn't look like it's a direct copy. And Sonic. Yeah. And then the very back page of the book, it's got like lots of pictures of like Sonic and Dr. Robotnik and the characters on it. So that's the end of this sketchbook. This was a Yu-Gi-Oh book that I took to school. It's just like a general workbook from the time, and I would like draw pictures while I was at school without references, and then I'd like stick them in this book, or like I'd rip them out of like the books I was drawing them in. So this was what happened when I didn't have references and I wasn't like directly copying anything. I'm not sure why there's like a really shiny glittery fox on there. A rabbit's gonna die. Oh, these look like they're all copies of stuff. Yeah. That was a copy of something, but it's on lined paper. I remember I quite liked this one when I did it. Even though it's just a copy. These weren't copies. I think that was supposed to be like the episode where, in season 2, where he's fighting Slifer the Sky Dragon and he can't figure out how to beat it and he falls to the ground in defeat and he's like, I can't defeat this, and then Kaiba's like, pull yourself together, Yugi, you can beat it. Yeah, that's a bit weird, just covering that eye. That was the outfit he had like near the end of season 1 where he was battling Duke Devlin and he had like a different like outfit for like one episode. I don't know, I just like them having different outfits. So there's another one. Oh, I gave him a hoodie. Yeah. He never had a hoodie in the anime. There's a picture of his head. And there's two faces. Yugi and Yami looking at each other. Over like the Millennium Puzzle. And for some reason I've given him a green jumper there. Is that it? That's almost it. Now he's wearing like a black jumper in that one. For some reason I didn't like stick these in. And that's from like the opening scene where he unlocks the power of the Millennium Puzzle. Woo! So then we have this sketchbook, and this was, I was going to have a Final Fantasy sketchbook, but as you can see from the contents, I only got to like 5 pages in. But Final Fantasy VII was like my favourite game as a kid, along with like Tomb Raider and Spyro. But I love Final Fantasy VII, and Tifa and Ares were like my 2 favourite characters in the game. So yeah, these are just like copies of, this was the girl from Final Fantasy VIII. I never really played 8, I couldn't get into it. But yeah, these were like copies of like the profile pictures they had like on the screen and like the official art and stuff. They were all just copies of that. Again with my copying phase. So that was that's Princess Garnet from Final Fantasy IX, and because she's like more 3-dimensional, I couldn't like copy her exactly. So I think this kind of looks a bit like more like my style, because I couldn't copy like 3D characters very well. Again, that's Final Fantasy VIII character. Kingdom Hearts guy. I never got very far in Kingdom Hearts. Like, I've always wanted the game, and like my parents got me the wrong game because they couldn't remember which game I wanted. So I never got to like really properly play it until like I was in my late teens, and then I lent it to a boyfriend and he kept it for months, like, and I hadn't even played it yet, but I lent it straight to him because I was nice. And then he lost the manual and he scratched up the discs, and it was just like, my god, never lend stuff to boyfriends. It never ends well. That is my advice. That's my tip for the day. And then finally we've got this book. And I remember, this is kind of like a Bucky O'Hare book. This one, I'm not sure what paint I was using for this at all. But I remember I was doing it just before an exam, and I cared more about doing the stupid picture than I did about the stupid exam, because, you know, exams suck, and I didn't care at all about school. I didn't care about doing well or anything, even though I got like B's and C's for everything through GCSE, but I was so miserable that I didn't care. I just wanted school to be over, so I was in the art room doing this before my exam and nearly missed my exam. So I remember the story of this picture. There's another one. That's kind of a better one. This is Jenny from Bucky O'Hare. She was my favourite character because she had pink hair, and I was a big fan of pink hair. That's kind of why I liked Ares in Final Fantasy VII, because she had like a pink outfit and long hair. I loved long hair on characters. Again, more copies of stuff. I really liked this pencil that I had. It was like really fluorescent pink, and I remember I like used it until it was like this big, till it was a tiny little stump. And then I had to go pencil hunting, because I didn't really have I didn't know anything. Prismacolors didn't even exist in 2003. Oh, we've actually entered 2004 now. We're into January 2004. There's another Jenny. Yeah, back then they were called Prismacolors. That company went bust, and then Prismacolor took it over. So I did have a couple of Prismacolors, if I'm even pronouncing that right. But yeah. Anyway, I think. Oh yeah, that's the last picture. This one here. This little sketch that I never finished. This was like the last thing in the book, which is kind of such a waste. Like I wasted so many pages in old sketchbooks, and I never finished them. Because then I'm like, oh, I'll go back and I'll fill in the sketchbook later, and then I don't, and then years go by, and then it's like I kind of then don't want to use them because it's a different year. But this was like one of my favourite episodes in the anime, where Princess Sally travels back in time and she meets like her younger self, and I really like the hair design and everything on like the young princess. She looks a bit like Princess Jasmine, I think, with the outfit and stuff. But that was like my favourite episode in Sonic Sat AM. So anyway, that brings us on to the start of 2004. Thank you for watching. I kind of hope you enjoyed the video. Sorry, I like talked an awful lot in this video. And thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye! Rah!